Welcome, Legion. This is a review for Saints Row. The original Saints Row was released for the 360. It was basically kind of a launch title, and it was a free-roaming game in the style of GTA, but a little bit more less serious and a little more funny. And the mini games in it are actually, honestly, a lot less realistic, but a lot more fun. You play as pretty much a nobody that comes in the gang of the Saints, and they roll over what's called the Saints Row District, and it's your job to take down these other gangs, the Los Muertos, and the Rollers, and the Vice Kings. I'm sorry, lost my train of thought. And basically, these have all kind of districts that they control, and you kind of just drive around and lay people out. And in doing so, you regain territory, sort of like in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, that your gang members own. And when you're in this area, your gang members will always be there to help you out. And it starts off as a creator, and you can make your guy skinnier, fat, and I like that you can make him Asian, and you can make him tan, you can adjust the eyes, and it really is a really better version of Skyrim's creator. And right off the bat, you're kind of thrown into this gang warfare stuff. It really takes you.
Civic-minded is all.
That's so?
Yeah, some dumbass cracker went and shit all over this wall. We just cleaning it up.
Hector says buenas noches.
Shit!
Immediately you're struck by this gameplay. As soon as you start your first mission, you don't have to. As long as you are just roaming the streets, laying people out, it really has a sense of no boundaries. More than GTA, because you can go in every building is detailed, and usually every building houses some sort of activity, or mayhem, where you destroy a bunch of things with weapons that are preset for you, or escort missions where you drive around supposedly prostitutes to private clients away from the media, to things just like being a bouncer. And of course you can do that standard stuff like be a fireman or be a taxi driver. And there's a lot of activities that are actually quite difficult, like Hitman, where you get a list and you have to find these people and kill them with a certain weapon. And all the music in the game is incredible. It is just licensed tracks, and a lot of it, there's I think Motion City soundtrack, Taking Back Sunday, there's a lot of punk rock, there's some death metal, and this is really a time before radio was watered down by just synth pop and trap music in games. This really had a significant soundtrack, and you can actually go to these music stores and buy new music, and then set up your custom playlist. And of course, back in the 360 days, you would just throw on the soundtrack on your Xbox. But every district has a certain feel to it. Something GTA really didn't. You can definitely see the slums of the ghetto and the high rises of the market district. They look way better. And the interiors are always filled with a lot of civilians, a lot of civilians. And you can beat them up and rob them or whatever. You can actually get in cars when people are driving and carjack them, which is hilarious. And the characters usually have backstories. Every mission, or even, the side missions that you encounter, these characters have very distinct voice acting, and they're always really put together well. And for the time period, the lip syncing was really, really good. I mean, it was way better than you think. And of course, you can actually buy clothes, too, for your character. And every cutscene, you have those custom clothes. You can give your guy lip piercings and tattoos, and it's still wildly, way more customizationable than Grand Theft Auto 4 or 5 or San Andreas was. Just the amount of clothes you can buy. And then when you're listening to the radio, they will actually announce sales. There's sales for the gun store. And that's the one thing in the game. You have to buy your ammo. I mean, most enemies carry around the standard gun, but it's never really anything that's wonderful. It's normally just a pistol, and if you want to get good shotguns and good snipers, this is something that you're going to have to do on your own. This is something that will have to be done through other means. a lot of times you'll have to do a lot of side missions, and that my trick is if you do the fifth or the last mission, or the side mission, it usually gives you the most money. And that's the one you want to do over and over again. And money goes away fast, right? It's 25% of your money every time you die. So if you have 20 grand, you're going to wake up with 15 grand. So you're going to want to try to avoid dying as much as possible here. Because this is not a game that you need to, you can spend a lot of money on. I mean, you have to savor that money. And don't buy cars. I know it's tempting, but just buy weapons. And you can really outline each of the missions. Every character is really distinct.
Please. I thought you come here to get a story, but let me tell you something. That ain't gonna happen, all right? Now get the hell out. You're gonna wish you never did that. My lawyer. Nice. Thanks for saving me the trouble. Tell you what, we could use someone who's got no love for the press. Bunch of big shots like to rent our girls for private parties. There's nothing the media loves more than a sex scandal.
I appreciate the social integrity of this game a lot. They're very distinct and kind of racist stereotypes for gangs. You know, the Los Carnales, I called them the Los Motives before. They're just, a Colombian drug gang, and the Rollers are just suburban white kids. But, even the characters, the minor characters, are well-versed so well. You wish you would see more of them, because some of the characters that you meet for just the activities in the district have such distinct personalities, and you kind of want to delve into more what's about them, but you just get a little cutscene.
What the hell is wrong with you? Wait. Sorry, man, you're not one of my kids. I just been on edge ever since they left. I took care of those girls since they started growing titties, and how they pay me back? By running off with some lowlife and a hat and cane. Could you bring him back to Daddy? I'd be mighty thankful.
Saints Row is a game that is just on the dot, just a perfect running game. I mean, sure, it has its glitches and popping, does happen from time to time, but for the price and the soundtrack and the gameplay and the depth, this game will take you 25, 35 hours easily. For me, I think it's well worth it. So next time you're in GameStop or online, go ahead and download Saints Row 1 and thank me later, because this is the most gangster game of all time. See you later.